Okay, today I'm going to be making some chocolate keto ice cream. Who doesn't love ice cream? This is going to be great. What you're going to need is some erythritol, of course some baking cocoa. You could use cacao, I'm just using baking cocoa. Heavy whipping cream, vanilla, and this right here is an example of what I've done to the erythritol. I put it in the mortar and pestle and ground that up, and then I get like a super fine powder so that when I put my 2 cups of cream in here with the erythritol, it ends up mixing in better. You know, because erythritol tends to stay a little bit more grainy. Keep that in mind when you're using it. I personally love the taste of erythritol, and this particular brand I got on Vitacost.com. Great resource for any nutritional supplement, still one of my favorites. I don't have a digestive issue with this. If you do, you can use the replacement in there. So I just put in 2/3 cup of erythritol into 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. This is going to cook down. On to the next step, we need 4 egg yolks. And I am going to put this into my bowl and add my vanilla, about 1.5 tablespoons. It's going to be really sweet. And now all we have to do is mix this together. And I'm also going to use my immersion blender for this, for extra creaminess. All right, so here is our sweetened condensed mixture that we've just created. Notice the bubbles. This is a good thing. It's starting to bubble a little bit. This is great. So we are going to now add our cocoa powder. And remember that was 1.5 tablespoons. And we poured that in there. And now we're going to stir that up. I'm going to turn it off while I mix it because that's just a good idea. I don't want it to burn. And I'm going to go ahead and try my immersion blender and see how that works out. So the immersion blender is one of my absolute favorite tools in the kitchen. Okay, before we go on to the eggs, I just have to tell you, oh my gosh, whipping this up with my immersion blender, I tasted it. It actually tastes like sweetened condensed milk with a similar texture. It's almost kind of crazy. Okay, so look at this delicious yumminess. This is what I got from our fake sweetened condensed milk. I gotta tell you, this is so delicious. You could drink this as hot cocoa. It would be delish. Now it's cooled off. All right, so let's move on to the next step. We're just gonna put a little in here at a time because we don't want the eggs to cook in here. Pour it a little bit more. Look at that. So see those little chunks? Even with good blending, you might get little chunks in there, but who doesn't like chocolate chunks? What we're gonna do is pour our ice cream mixture into this container. This happens to be the bottom of an ice cream maker. I had the ice cream maker, it broke, but I saved this containers to do just this, and I'm gonna hand mix it after a couple of hours. But you could also do this in a glass bowl, and all you're gonna do is put it in the freezer, and it's gonna freeze from the bottom up in a regular bowl, and a metal bowl would be good because that conducts more of the temperature exchange. But I happen to have this, so I'm using what I've got. We are going to pour this in here and start stirring it in this frozen container. So I can already feel it. So I want to be mixing this. It's kind of like the churning process, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in the fridge. I'm going to scoop this out and we are going to have some ice cream. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Scoops right up And look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Holy cow, I can't wait to taste it. That is delicious. I might even decrease the erythritol. Maybe I would just put half of the second third, because I put 2/3 erythritol in here. I might cut that down by a 1/3 cup and then fill up the half cup, or fill up the 1/3 cup halfway. Does that make sense? Not that it's super sweet, but based on what I'm used to these days, look at that. Tell me that's not beautiful. That is delicious. Hey, you want to taste it? Here, taste it. It's really good. See you next time.